I think it's finally warm enough for me to plant some stuff into the ground. Lately we've had like frost warnings overnight and I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to get these vegetables into the ground, but of course it was too cold. Finally, I think it's warm enough. I did a haul of everything I got from the plant nursery a little while ago in a recent vlog. I'll link it. You can see the haul of all these vegetables there. I'm gonna get them all spaced out and planted and then I'll show you them. I'm gonna start up on the higher raised bed. That's where I'm gonna put the lettuce and the kale and the sugar snap peas. I use this little ruler to measure everything out based on the spacing on the tags. I'm gonna get the hose and give everything a good water. Let me show you where I've placed everything. I honestly thought this bed was like quite large, but I was reading the tags and some things needed like 60 centimeters spacing, 90 centimeters, and we went through the space quite quickly. I didn't even manage to plant some of the pumpkins because they just needed like way too much space. But what I have planted, up here we have the peas. These are sugar snap peas. Here is romaine lettuce. This is all the same lettuce, and then that was a different container. You can see that's like pretty thick and dense versus these little solo ones. This is red Russian kale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 3 of these black dinosaur kales, which needed much more spacing than these ones. I have some tomatoes, and then over here I had some onions. They weren't in the best shape, you can tell. They're not doing too well. Back there I have a garlic chive, and then the broccoli begins. I had 3 containers of broccoli, and they need to be quite far apart, so they take up this entire chunk. Then starting here, we have something different. This line here is green beans. Over here, these 2 are zucchini, and then I have 2 cucumber. Then I get into some peppers. I have 2 of these California Wonder pepper bells. This one and then this one. And then back here is a ring of fire pepper, and I just have the 1 of those. And then at the end of the bed, which is what I planted I think a week or 2 ago, I have some strawberries and then a raspberry plant. Because I didn't have enough room in the vegetable bed, I had to plant the pumpkins and the squash in a whole different area. The largest thing I got were these pumpkin lumia, and they say they'll grow 182 centimeters, so I want to space them out quite a bit. I also picked up some of these small sugar pumpkins. These are gonna go 2.4 meters. I got 2 of those, and then I got 1 squash, and this is just a butternut squash. It says 1.8 meters. The soil in this area wasn't the best, so I supplemented with, fresh soil. I'm gonna fertilize on sort of a bi-weekly basis, but what was here was definitely not the greatest, so I hope they do all right. It's a new day. It's been a couple of days, actually I think maybe close to 2 weeks since I planted these vegetables in the ground. They have grown. I feel like you'll definitely be able to notice. I picked up some more vegetables, some plants like flowering plants, and a couple other things from the garden nursery, and I thought I'd throw them into the end of this video since it kind of all goes with the gardening theme. Let me give you a haul of everything I picked up. I have everything laid out here. Something I actually already planted that I might as well show you. What I had here before, you guys saw, was the onions and those garlic chives. I got some rosemary, and I also got another basil. This is a lettuce leaf basil, which is a different variation than this one here. It's literally so sunny right now. Let me just show you everything, and then I'll get to planting. So I want to get some more pumpkins. I don't know why, you guys saw the pumpkins I already planted, but I wanted some more orange ones, so I got 2 little cell packs. One is the baby bear pumpkin, which will grow 80 centimeters wide and 45 centimeters high, and then this pumpkin Jack Be Little, which will grow basically the same as the other. I picked up some vining fruits because I didn't really have too many. I got a watermelon, just 1. This is a sugar baby watermelon. I think the leaves on watermelons look so cool, the shape of them. And then I picked up a cantaloupe. This is a sugar cube cantaloupe, and it comes with 3 little things in here. I actually picked up a bunch more flowers to put into containers, and I potted them up. I didn't vlog the process since I vlogged all this, and I was like, I don't know if it would be that interesting, but I'll show you at the end of the video just to kind of document the size that they're at now so I can compare to the end of the summer. But I did get some more flowers to plant. I don't have any experience with morning glories, and I was just like really curious about them. They grow very long or high, whichever you kind of think. You can see they're already pretty massive. So I got 2 of this specific one. In the photo, it looks pink and purple. It's like multicolor, And then this was kind of a different one, Morning Glory Star of Yalta. This one looks purple. So we'll see how they grow. I also picked up this Color Blaze coleus. This is by Proven Winners. Proven Winners is kind of my favorite brand to buy from. I always have really good experience, especially with like their petunias. I watch the channel Garden Answer and she's always using Proven Winners, so I don't know, I'm just like drawn to them. Also, great channel if you're into gardening, that sort of thing. Garden Answer, definitely check them out. I can link them down below. So I'm gonna try out this coleus. I need to plant in one of my containers. I felt like it just needed like another thing. For me, I'll plant my containers and then I'll do more shopping and I'm like, I want to like switch some stuff in, so I'm gonna add this into one of my containers. Also for the vegetable garden, I got this specific vegetable fertilizer. This is Garden Special Food. This is 6-9-12. In the beds, I didn't supplement with any starter fertilizer, so that's kind of why I want to mix in this type of fertilizer. For the soil, it's all fresh soil. We ordered 2 big bags of the yellow bags of soil. I'll put the info on the screen here. It's mixed in with compost and stuff like that. I think it's like black earth. So I think today I'll also perhaps mix this into the soil. I'll have to read the directions. I don't know if I've mentioned this. I think I mentioned in my other video, but this is our first year planting vegetables. We just built this vegetable garden, so I'm very new to this. I haven't grown any vegetables before, so this is all kind of like an experiment to see how stuff is gonna grow. For example, I'm just getting like 1 cantaloupe and I'm like, is that gonna be enough? We'll have to see. So I'd really appreciate your tips down below if you can give me anything, because yeah, I have no experience with any of this. Now let's get to planting everything. We're a little bit tight on space. I could also just plant some of this stuff in the bed and see how it does. For example, down here with these peppers, like there's a lot of space here. By the way, this we just put in because we were having some rabbit issues. So my stepdad sort of just put this up. I don't know how much it's gonna do. I thought rabbits could jump, but hopefully this does something. Could that work there? I don't know, maybe. Like, again, like I said, this is all kind of an experiment. This cantaloupe wants to be placed 120 centimeters apart. I don't exactly have that amount of space in this bed. I'm thinking of doing a little replanting. I know that's probably not the best for the roots, honestly. I'm thinking of moving this up and moving the second pepper, these are both the same, up there. And then I'll have this space that I could put the cantaloupe. I'm trying to stay away from the root ball so I don't mess with many of the roots. I don't want to break them. And there we are. And I'm doing the same for this one to sort of move it up. I found that I made my first rows a little too far back and I could have done them closer to the edge of the bed. Okay, now that the peppers have sort of been moved over, I actually think with this room here, I'm gonna plant the cantaloupe and I'm gonna plant the watermelon. I'm gonna direct it so that, you know, it's falling this way so that it'll start vining off and won't get in the way of the peppers. My stepdad just cut down a tree that was in our front area here. So now there looks like there's a lot of space. I think I'll plant 1 of each pumpkin just to kind of experiment and see how they grow in this spot versus another area, depending on how much sun they get and stuff like that. Okay, so we've got a little hole back here. You can see there's some roots and stuff like that. I'm gonna add in some fresh soil just to the bottom so that it has, you know, better nutrients. And I'll wrap that all around the hole. Because I'm just so intelligent, I took the tags out when we were planting in that front bed over there. Then the last 2 that I had didn't have the tags anymore. So I was like, I don't know what's what. So those will kind of be a little bit of a surprise. Now I think I want to sprinkle the fertilizer in with the veggies, and then I want to show you all my containers because that's kind of what I really, really love, like flowers and building containers and stuff like that. Okay, I got a measuring cup. You can see these sugar snaps growing. I need to get these like staked up. I'm just gonna sprinkle it on top and then I'll mix it in with my hands after. So I added that garden fertilizer to all the veggies. I mixed it in with the soil and watered it thoroughly. Now let me show you all my containers. This year I planted some bulbs. I got this hummingbird garden collection mix from Walmart. It had 3 sets of 12. So I planted the bulbs in here and then on top I sprinkled a little mix. I'll show you the bag on the screen now. I believe it also was to attract bees. And then in this one has even more bulbs in it, with also those sprinkled little flowers. I guess I've sprinkled a lot of those seeds because you can see they're very, very packed in there. I don't think this is, you know, optimal for them. I feel like it would be better if they all had enough space to grow as big as possible. You can see some of these on the bottom are quite small. I ended up trying to space it out just a little bit. I would shimmy some of them out, make sure I had the root, and then I planted it at the end of the vegetable bed here. You can see here's where the strawberries and the one raspberry plant is, and then I have some of the little seeds here. So hopefully these have, you know, a little bit more room. Now these containers and hanging baskets were planted maybe a little under a week ago. I even have some stuff that I haven't potted up in containers yet. We have 2 of these white, you know, mini calibrachoa. I have this Proven Winners sweet potato vine. I got 2, but one of them's in a hang basket. Nico, I can't play ball with you right now. And then we have one more of those trailing vinca vines. These are salvia. These are like my favorite. They have these purple little blooms. It fills out quite big and it attracts a ton of bees, which I really like. This was the container that I was kind of thinking about putting the coleus into, sort of right there. But honestly, looking at it now, I think it might be a little bit tight if I added the coleus in there. I feel like this will give them enough room to sort of fill in. I don't want to cram the roots in there too tight. What's in here now is all Proven Winners. This is the Super Bells Dreamsicle, which is a nice orange. We have a Super Bells Double Amber right here, which is so cool. These are kind of similar vibe colors, I think. And then this is a Dark Night Lobularia, which is going to give off purple. Then I have a couple Cocoa Coir baskets. In here I have Supertunia Honey, a vinca vine here. This is Supertunia Blue Skies. I'm really loving this purple color. I have an orange verbena, another vinca vine, and then White Night Lobularia, which is obviously white rather than the purple. Then on the other side, we have another hang basket. I have another Supertunia Honey, which you can see is not the fullest at this point. A trailing vinca vine, which if you've never had experience with vinca vine, you can see just like how long it already is. We've got another White Night Lobularia, and then a dark purple sweet potato vine. This one definitely isn't as colorful, and I don't love it as much because of that fact, but I'll see how it all fills in. All right, let's start potting some stuff up. I'm gonna take this IKEA pot, which I did get some holes drilled into the bottom. I really want to put this coleus into a container. So I was thinking of adding this and the Proven Winners sweet potato vine, just to kind of see how these would both grow. They're kind of dark, and I like how that looks with a lighter colored pot. I was honestly having such a hard time finding a container for the morning glories that I have, but I found another one of those IKEA pots that has drilled holes in the bottom, so I'm going to use that. I also have one more hanging basket, which is super small. It's also kind of like not in the best shape. I can almost see through the cocoa fiber, so I feel like water is just going to go through this so fast, and I'll definitely need to water it very often. But I do want to put a morning glory in there just to kind of see. So I'm going to put one in the hanging basket, and then I'm going to put 2 in this pot. So this is one of the morning glories all potted up. It definitely would have been tight if I tried to squeeze 2 in there, so I think 1 was definitely a good decision. Okay, y'all, all the plants are watered and in their new containers, which is so exciting. Sometimes I have like little baby plants in their nursery pots that take me like ages to get into a new container because I don't know which ones I want to put them with. I don't know what pot I'm going to put them with, so they kind of just sit there. So I'm glad that they're out of their nursery pots and can root in. The little butterfly bee attracting seeds that I mentioned that I put in the pots earlier, I also sprinkled some here. You can see like this is one of the seeds that's going to create a little flower, and there's some more underneath. I do have sedum planted, so it's not like that filled, but all of this top stuff is those flowers. It just filled this space really nicely. And these flowers are coming. They're nice and purple. And then I have 2 grasses over here. I don't know the names. Honestly, I bought these last year when I was at university when I wasn't as into plants, so I'm not even sure what those are. But over here we have some beautiful peonies. Some of them have finished. You can see like this one's definitely done. I'm getting off track. I have some more containers in the front of my house. I have 2 of these front containers. Typically 1 is on each side, you know, symmetrical, but this side tends to get a few more hours of sun because the house shades it, so I moved it here just for that sake. Up here, this is Supertunia bubblegum, and this is just one plant. It's so filled. In the back, we have some blue lobelia that I got from Walmart, which is honestly gonna get totally covered in, you know, a couple weeks. We have a grass here and then some creeping Jenny, which I really like this because it's a perennial creeper that you can add into your containers, but then afterwards you can plant it into the landscape. When I got it, it wasn't trailing off the container like this, so I really like how it's looking now. In this front container, it's not as massive as this one. I planted that Supertunia bubblegum the same time as this one. This is called Supertunia Royal Velvet. More recently, I did a bit more shopping and I picked up another Supertunia. This is Blue Skies. This is the same one that I have out in that coco coir container in my backyard. I wanted to plant one in here because this wasn't getting as filled, so we'll see how these two fill in together. I've planted quite a few little boxes and containers like this because we don't have too much space in the landscape. Also, we don't have any like really massive containers, so you can see these are not that big. I'm gonna insert the clips from the day that I planted these containers. You can see how much they've grown already. When I first planted them, these black flowers hadn't even come in yet. I planted literally just leaves, so it's been so cool watching them grow. This is gonna be our first container. It's made out of plastic, so it's quite light. You know, it's filled with soil, but it is still pretty easy to move around. I wanna put in some of these proven winter petunias and this as a centerpiece. I'm gonna switch up what I have in my front containers. I had some pansies, some perennial creeper, and English ivy, but I'm gonna take the pansies out and put them into a separate pot. I haven't really had much experience with pansies in the past. I typically just don't really buy them. I know they're one of the first things to come out into the garden center, which is exciting, but I feel like after that, just so much more exciting stuff comes out, so I never really bothered. This year I obviously did. I'm onto this bigger container now. If I haven't mentioned, the reason I'm doing so much stuff in containers is because we just don't have space out in the landscape in our flower beds, like they're totally full. So this is really the only way I can work flowers in. On the edges, I'm gonna do these orange type flowers. For this one, I'm also gonna go for symmetrical design. I'm gonna have one of these on each side. I was thinking of putting these full purple ones in the center. This is how it's looking. I separated each one of those individual plants and I potted 2 here in the front, 1, 2, and then 2 in the back. Hopefully it'll all fill in nicely. Now I'm gonna give everything a good water. Okay, I'm gonna plant the strawberry that I got from Walmart. I guess this is supposed to be a biodegradable pot, so it says for me to water it thoroughly and then just plant it in the soil at the same level as the pot and then water again. And then apparently it should be good. These strawberries here, these two, which are quite a bit bigger than this one from Walmart, these are from Home Depot. These are the Berry Galore White. This one is gonna flower red versus the white, so it'll be easy to see the difference. So I'm just soaking the pot. The soil's already wet. I like to keep the tag just so I can refer back, and then I'm just gonna water it in a little bit more. I know I don't typically post too much about gardening and outdoor nature plant stuff, but that is something I really enjoy, so I was hoping to integrate more of these types of videos into my channel. I especially want to give you updates on the garden and see how all these plants grow. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Comment down below any other video requests you'd like to see, and I'll see you in my next video.